Now, in my last video, I talked about jealousy overcoming you. This video, we're talking about idolization. Okay, so have you ever looked at somebody and been like, damn, I want to be just like that? That's me. Maybe it's their physique, lifestyle, money, whatever, confidence, girls, whatever it is. Okay, that feeling can go one of two ways. Okay, it's either one, it's going to push you forward, or two, it's going to mess up everything you worked for. And here's the truth on the real note. Here's the truth. There's a difference between being inspired by somebody and putting somebody on a pedestal. And most people don't know where that line is crossed. Okay, so let me explain. It's actually a good thing to be inspired by other people who are better than you. In fact, you should be. If there's somebody if there's somebody that you admire, somebody you want to be like in some aspect, go ahead and do that. Because when you're looking at someone ahead of you, what you're really seeing is the proof. You're really seeing the proof. Proof that a certain level of work, discipline, consistency can get you results, whether they had help or not. The work is still there. And in a lot of cases, those things can be replicated. Now, yes, some people have advantages, better resources, better environment, better connections, better upbringing, all the other stuff. But that doesn't make their success useless to you. Doesn't make their success useless to you. You who want to be successful or in the same spot as they are. You can still take pieces of what they do from here, from B, from this point in their life. Because some people have autobiographies. Okay. You could apply it in your own way, but it has to be your way. It has to be your way. When where people mess up is that they start idolizing people. When someone becomes more than just inspiration, they become a hero. Okay. And that's dangerous because you're not really seeing reality anymore. You're seeing a version of them that you created in your head. You've never met these people in real life. They don't know you've existed. Okay. You don't see their flaws. You don't see their bad days. You don't see what's real and what's just branding. Okay. And then one day you meet them or you learn something about them. And that image in your head completely breaks because you never begin with the true image. A lot of people online are playing a role. Me kind of sort of included. These are just shower thoughts that I'm just expressing to you on the internet. But but they're playing a role, not necessarily in a fake way, but more like in a curated way. Like I know I can't really say certain things. I know I have to act this way in order for you guys to like listen. Okay? Because if I start talking like this, you guys are gonna listen to me. No, it's just no. Okay. They show what gets engagement. They show what builds attention. They show what sells. Okay, and you have to be careful because what if you start chasing an illusion and not what's real at the same time? At the same time. At the same time. You shouldn't dismiss people either. They still work to get where they are. There's still some value there that you could be grabbing onto, holding onto, and applying it to your life. For me, okay, I like David Lade, Brandon Clark. I respect their physiques. I respect their discipline to get what it takes there. Do I have that? No. Do I agree with things they do? No. Do I put them on this pedestal? Also no. Do I follow them on Instagram? Yes, I do. Why? Because I take what I can use. I use their image. I use their results. I use it as fuel, not to become them, but to become a version of that goal. Does that make sense? Like in my case, being in shape, looking good, staying disciplined, and having a whole bunch of money, that's like an ideal lifestyle for me, man. That'd be so nice. And this doesn't apply online. This applies to even people in your regular life. Like right now, I'm in a class where there are a bunch of people who are just straight up better than me. They understand technology faster. They understand, they can explain concepts better. They're more confident when they talk. They're more social. They have skills that I don't. And yet, instead of feeling jealous, I study them. How do they walk? How do they talk? Do they use their hands? How are they studying for their exams? I pay attention to how they communicate, how they think. I try to break things down. I ask them questions, and when I'm in a similar situation, I try to apply what I've observed. I may not know all the technical stuff, but I can present and I can talk like I know what I'm talking about. That's a skill that most people don't have. Combined with what I've learned from books, videos, and experience, all that stuff is how you grow. And that doesn't come from jealousy. That's a dead emotion. It doesn't really build anything. It just keeps you stuck in comparison. It shifts your learner's mindset. And but if you shift to a learner's mindset, everything changes. I remember this guy in my class, same age as me. He's in shape. He understands networking. He's charismatic. And yeah, I had that thought of like, damn, that could have been me because we're the same age. We're the same age. We're the same age. Better physique, made more money than me, understands networking, understands. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, that could have been me. And I talk about it. think I talked about it before about on the grind and the emotions and how it never stops. Like I'm not talking about like the emotions are still there, right? But when I start recognizing I have those thoughts, I just flip it. I flip it. I thought that can still be me. He's just a version of it. And that's the difference. Your environment matters too. I want to say that too. When you're around people who are pushing and learning and improving, it raises the standard automatically. It kills it, even in some cases it even kills jealousy, because and even I'm talking to a couple people's mentors and people who come into class and talk to me about what's going on, and even they're like, when they talk about people getting new certifications, it's not like a wow, I can't believe you got your certification, I want a certification. It's like it motivates them to push more, like, what, you got your cert, let me get my cert too, what are we doing, right? Like, what do I need to do to get there? And the answer is usually simple, but not easy. Sacrifice. Either increase your sacrifice or reduce your desire. I had a moment recently when it really clicked for me. We had someone talk about their schedule. They're working nightlife in Las Vegas. They were staying up 2 a.m. or later. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way that I could do that and stay consistent with studying. And then I looked around, right? And there's a person in my class. There's a couple people in my class who stay up past 4 a.m. because of their jobs, come into studying, and they're still getting 80s. They're still getting 100s. Whether they're cheating or not, I don't know. I don't think so. But I looked around and I realized there are people doing exactly that. There are people who are sacrificing more than me. They're sleeping less. They're grinding longer. They're staying disciplined under worse conditions than I am. And that's what forces a decision. You either increase your sacrifice or reduce your desire. And you can't want a high level outcome with low level effort. You just can't. That's reality. Okay, one more thing. One more thing people overlook. All right. Socialization, talking to people, learning their stories. You'll never know who you'll meet. Okay? You never know what someone's been through or what they know that you don't. And sometimes one conversation, 1 hour of mid level conversation can change your entire perspective, but not because you idolize them, but because you extracted something valuable. Now, obviously, don't use that as like a thing just to keep it there. But so here's the mindset shift. If you get nothing else from this video, don't worship people, don't idolize them, don't compare yourself in a negative way. Instead, observe, learn, apply, and grow. Take inspiration from everyone. Don't take everything from one person or everything from everyone, but take inspiration where you take inspiration from. Social media, real life, your environment. But always filter it through through your own path, your own goals, your own success. Make it yours. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about you becoming somebody else. This is about you becoming yourself, a better self. Remember this: if you shoot for the moon, you might land among the stars. Even if you don't hit your exact goal, the progress that you make forward, and especially once you start moving forward, now you have momentum. Now you are where you are supposed to be. You're closer than you were before. So stay inspired, stay learning, and most importantly, stay in your own lane while you're leveling up. All right, y'all. I think that's it. That's it. Adios.